So what's going on YouTube? Jason Ball here, aka the Bearded one. This is my inaugural video. I just wanted to do just an introduction video on who I am, what this channel is going to be about, but some expectations. I don't want to give everything away or make so many promises that I end up don't fulfilling them. But the backbone of this channel is going to be built on beer reviews. I'm not a BJCP certified judge. I'm aspiring to be a judge, so I'm using this opportunity to review beers on YouTube as a way to develop and grow my palate, along with, just communicating with the community on YouTube. I follow quite a few people, and it's just very, I really like the community that YouTube has. It's a very laid back community. I don't see a lot of elitists on here, maybe in the comments or elsewhere in the internet, but the reviewers themselves, I don't see a lot of hipsterdom or elitism or any other word you could put out there. So I wanted to throw my hat in the foray, and I don't want to be just another review guy. I have some things that I want to do with this channel other than just reviews. Again, reviews. I just want reviews to be the backbone of this channel, the thing you can expect to view on this channel. But I am an aspiring BJCP judge. That doesn't mean anything special right now, but I'm hoping to use this channel as leverage for developing my palate and just furthering the hobby of reviewing and nosing and tasting beer. But then I'm also an aspiring home brewer. Excuse me. Very soon, and I mean potentially this coming week, I plan to get into home brewing. I have a book, which I can recommend in a later video. I also listen to a few podcasts, so I'm not a complete moron when it comes to home brewing, even though I've never home brewed. I'm hoping to take the channel that route as well, and have something different than just beer reviews. That way I can stand out a little bit and maybe provide something different. Now, as far as my beer story goes, I've enjoyed the smell of beer since I can remember. I mean, I live in North Alabama, so as a kid, and those of you who live in my area about my age or even older, as a kid, I remember going to Huntsville Stars baseball games, Tennessee Valley Vipers football games, arena football games, I should say. Even Alabama games. You can't drink beer or any type of alcohol inside of the stadium, but just being outside of Bryant-Denny Stadium, or at the time when I was a child, it was mostly Legion Field. They were sharing Legion Field and Bryant-Denny Stadium, and just smelling the beer. And back then, craft beer was pretty non-existent, especially in Alabama. So the Bud, the Miller, and the Coors, everywhere at these types of events, and I really enjoyed that yeasty, sweet smell that beer had. I mean, as long as I can remember. And so fast forwarding up until to about 10th grade, so I'm about 15 or 16. I'm at a spend the night party with some friends. One of the mutual friends sneaks into the host's mother's fridge and pulls out, I believe, a Bud Light. And I tried it, hated it. said it tasted like moose piss. I'll never drink beer. I even later on, I wanted to be a wino. I would make jokes about it. Wine's good, you know. I'm just gonna drink wine. I'll be a wino. It'll be funny and cute, and it'll be my thing. But after that Bud Light moment, somewhere in the mix, there was a Miller Lite moment, and I do specifically remember, and I was about 18. It was either senior year or my first year of graduation. Not quite ready to drink, but I'm getting there. Legally, I had a Miller Lite. My sister's best friend's father handed me and one of my friends who used to date my sister's best friend, handed me a Miller Lite, and it was the first beer I ever drank. Didn't love it, but I stomached it. Now, it wasn't one of those things where you make a sucker face and you're just really just trying to get it down just to be brave. Like, I actually drank the whole thing and didn't hate it. And then somewhere along the lines between that Bud Light moment and legal drinking age, you know, somewhere around the Miller Lite moment as well, I went to a campsite, not a campsite. I went to like a campfire in the woods behind somebody's house, and I was given a Corona Extra, and that Corona Extra was the first beer I actually enjoyed, and that sort of led me into the path of beer. And I did illegally buy some Corona Extra at a gas station. Will not name the gas station. They don't do that anymore. They've cleaned up their act. But I did illegally buy some Corona Extra back in the day when I wasn't old enough. And it was good, you know. It's Corona Extra. I'm drinking beer for the first time, you know, and enjoying it. You know, everybody has their starting point. Nobody picks up a double IPA or a Russian Imperial Stout and they're like, "Oh, that's good." Now, that's rare. My brother-in-law, mind you, never drank beer in his life. Not even Coors, Bud, Miller, none of it. And he tried a milk stout from a local craft brewery and loved it. So there are exceptions to the rule. But generally speaking, I think that's the niche, your BMC, as I've heard it called on YouTube, Bud, Miller, Coors, your macro lagers, as I've also heard it called, or the more technical term that the BJCP refers to it as, the classic American lagers. I think that's their niche, is starting people out in beer. Personally, I don't think that should be a destination point. That's just the final destination. But that's another story. That's another video. So I had the Corona Extra. Bought the Corona Extra later on. So I'm getting into beer, and then after that, it all kind of runs together. But I do remember I started out drinking whiskey when I was 21. And that mostly stems from the crowd I was hanging around back then. A lot of rough around the edges people, and you have that culture around whiskey. You know, a manly, beefy culture. You're a hard ass if you drink whiskey, that kind of stuff. And so, kind of adhering to those stereotypes and thinking I needed to grow hair on my chest or other things that I've called it or heard it called. I started drinking whiskey. I was a whiskey guy, and along with whiskey came woodchuck. So I really got into cider. When I was really actually drinking and enjoying alcohol, woodchuck, the cider series, was what I really got into. And You know, I notice when some people first get into beer, they have that one beer they like and they just stick to it for a long time, and they're scared to skate and discover things. And it wasn't the same way for me, especially starting out on the cider. I know cider's not beer, but I think that was my first foray into discovering different flavors and not sticking to one thing. I tried variety packs of woodchuck. I bought the Granny Smith's apple, the amber cider. I tried the winter cider, the blueberry cider. I tried quite a bit of woodchuck. I explored woodchuck pretty good. And then I made my way into Boston Lager. There was a big Coors Light phase along the way. Didn't want to drink nothing but Coors Light on draft. You know, I don't have a spectacular story. I imagine a lot of you people, your journey in beer probably resembles this or something close to it. But then I tried a Boston Lager, and I got through it. You know, I figured if I really have to, if I'm really going to enjoy beer, I really need to drink something like this. And so here I am. Let's see, I'm 29 as of this publication, and I started really drinking beer when I was legal to drink beer at 21. So 8 years later, almost 9 years later, I'm here. I enjoy craft beer. I love it. If you told me 2 years ago I would be drinking IPAs and enjoying them, I would call you crazy. But yeah, I love beer now, and I think I have something to offer to YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and I think I'm going to cut the video off here. Thank you for reviewing. Thank you for watching my channel, and thank you for anything you do, leaving comments, liking videos, subscribing, whatever it is you people do out there in YouTube. Thank you.